Hi, Robin with Oxy-Dry. And in the basement area of this house, I've already done a bedroom and a pretty large walk-in closet upstairs. Now I moved downstairs and doing this area. And of course, I'm using my normal Rotary SETT machine. Soil extraction transfer technology is what we're using on the carpet. I just want to talk a little bit today about why I do it the way I do it, maybe just those of you guys who are interested in doing this, give you something to think about, and because we're all trying to get better at this and hopefully learning from each other and willing to admit that maybe we don't know everything. I think if you get to the point where you're saying, I know everything, and everybody needs to listen to me, well, then you're unteachable, and probably you know a lot less than you think. You know, humility is a good thing to have, because we're all capable of admitting that we're not infallible. So I want to show you guys something. One of the things that, one of the concerns that people have when they see shower feeding, is they will say, well, you can't clean that way because you're just going to wash the dirt. You know, the water is just going to go, or the solution is going to go through the pad and wash it into the dirt, into the carpet, and, on and on it goes. Well, I've been doing it this way now for 28 years, and I can tell you that that is simply not the case as long as you are doing it the correct way. So let's talk a little bit about that, because there is a correct way and an incorrect way. Now, I have in the past used, I've sprayed the carpet ahead, not used the tank, and in fact, about 10 or so years ago, for probably a couple of years, I was using, that's all I was doing was spraying the carpets, and I was using Pepsi cans. You could buy them from the bottling companies, and these used Pepsi cans. I think they held like 4 gallons or something like that, and you put your whatever you're going to clean with in them, and then you pump it up with an air pump, and it would work fine, and it would have enough pressure right to the bottom of the tank. And I used that a lot, and it worked. For a while there, a couple of years probably, that's what I was doing. But then there was times when I would do one job one way, and then the other job I'd try just using the shower feed, from the tank here. And I would compare how I was doing it and what the end results were, and the efficiency of it. And it became pretty obvious many times that I'm not saying that you shouldn't or couldn't use the spray ahead technique. That's fine. But I found that using the shower feeding was actually more efficient for my time, and also gave me a greater degree of precision control on the carpet itself, because I could react to something I was seeing happening on the carpet by, maybe adding a little bit more solution if I thought I needed to, or not as much. So I ended up, and I also found that I used a lot less solution by using the shower feed system, because in the areas where you really don't need very much, you don't put down very much. And then in the areas where there's more soiling, maybe you're going to add a little bit more, although you don't necessarily need to add that much more. And the key is the way that you apply the solution. I've done a couple of videos in the past where I've kind of demonstrated that, but I'll just show you what's going on with this particular pad. Obviously, you can see I'm using the Rubbermaid rayon polypropylene green stripe pad here today, which I'm finding is a great pad. And I rediscovered those maybe a month or two ago. Although these ones never used to exist back when I was using the green stripe. But anyway, here we have the one with this one has polypropylene right here. This is rayon, 100% rayon. It just seems to work great. Anyway, let's go on to my point here. So I did a bedroom up there and a closet, fairly large area, maybe about as total area of what I'm about doing here, I think. This room, probably total area, square feet wise. And we turn the pad over. You can see it's fairly soiled, but you can see it's also evenly soiled. And of course, in the center here, where the hole is in the middle of the pad driver, there's no pressure pushing this pad down onto the carpet. So, this is there's no weight on here. And my machine is a center feed, so the solution is actually dropping right through the center of the pad. So when I lift this up, It's damp right here, but it's dry from about here over. Dry. And that's ideally what you want to see on your pad when you're using it, regardless of which type of pad you're using. If you're using your pad and you're shower feeding and it's soaking wet, you're definitely using too much water. You use too much solution, and it doesn't help you clean. You only need enough solution to get the carpet clean. Anything beyond that is a waste of solution and it can lead to wicking. And getting the right balance of how much you apply to each job, it does take some practice and some skill, and you need to be paying attention all the time. And of course, some might argue, well, maybe the pad's going to get dry and you could cause a problem on the carpet by running the pad dry. Well, of course, if you're not paying attention, you're not using the machine correctly, you're not understanding what you're doing, then you certainly can, getting the right balance does take a little bit of practice. And if you're running dry, then you're obviously doing it incorrectly, and that's what we call operator error. Not the method itself is the problem, it's the operator using the method. So anyway, let's do some carpet cleaning here. Now this is a repeat job. I've been doing this carpet for 5 or 6 years, I guess. This is a looped carpet. I guess you could probably call it a Berber, but it's actually not quite a Berber because it's got sort of uneven loops on it. And I believe it's an olefin, a polypropylene. But anyway, let's go ahead and give it a clean. In the past, I've always done a two-step on this. And this is a scenario where I'm finding that, as I've mentioned before, using this Rubbermaid pad, in most cases where I used to use a two-step process, a fiber pad followed by usually an Ironman, I'm finding that I just simply don't need to do that anymore, which translates into cleaning a little bit faster. My goal isn't to be faster, but I'd rather be slower and be better as far as cleaning performance goes, because the difference in speed is really not that great, although it does add up over a day, an entire day cleaning. But the first priority is, of course, always going to be making sure that you do the best cleaning job that you possibly can. Anyway, I remember last time there were some bad marks right in front of this chair, which I took out, and obviously they never came back because they're still gone. And this is actually the first video I'm making in the year 2024. So Happy New Year, everybody. So let's all have a good year, I hope. So I'm just intermittently feeding. I do not need to saturate the pad. That is not going to help. It won't give me a better cleaning job, and it's just not efficient. You don't need to do that. You just need to make sure that the carpet is damp. And once you get the hang of it, you'll get it. It does take a little bit of practice, I guess you could say. And you need to be constantly paying attention to what you're doing. And one of the things I do appreciate about using the Rotary is that if the pad does get a little bit dry, I can feel it. I can feel the machine starting to bind a little bit on the carpet, and I can immediately react by adding solution and deal with that. So you're able to do that more, or feel that more so with the rotary machine than you can with an LP. And either rotary or an LP, of course, is set cleaning. Set cleaning is a machine that's going to transfer the soil from the carpet into a pad. It's soil extraction transfer. We're transferring the soil. So a machine like, say, a CRB is not a set machine, not a set method. So that's, assuming you use an encapsulator, that would be an encapsulating system where you just scrub the solution in, and then it dries and crystallizes or encapsulates the soil, and then it's vacuumed out after the fact. Whereas machines like this with pads, assuming, well, even if you're not using an encapsulator, you're still extracting, so. But anyway, this is the floor mat, obviously. That's actually, I don't know if it was the last time or the time before, there was a really bad stain along the edge of that door. They had a water leak underneath there, and I managed to get it out almost 100%. You can still see it there very faintly, but it really looks really good, actually. Okay, so now we're gonna move some things. Alrighty. I'll turn this all around. And then this is going to come forward a bit. Try and line it up with the foot marks there. Back a smidgen. And like that. Ooh, excellent. Okay. But there are a few marks here that are some right here, actually, I'll be taking out in a sec. But all the marks seem to be coming out. I did pre-treat these spots with my usual trigger spare with some suspend in it. Seems to work really well. And I will be grooming this carpet when I'm done with my hush tone vacuum, post vacuuming, that is. I do have a set of steps, about 6 or 8 steps to do as well on this job. Pretty easy job. As I say, I've done this job probably half a dozen times, so it cleans really easily. This is the carpet that an OP machine would have some difficulty cleaning. Not that it wouldn't clean. It's just because it has the loop on it would make it a little bit more difficult to maneuver the OP machine. They do tend to sometimes jump and chatter about on any loop type carpets, whereas with the Rotary, never run into that. The Rotary just glides along so smoothly. Much easier machine physically to use on a daily basis once you get the hang of it. I mean, I know some guys find them a little awkward, but that's because the usual mistake people make is they hold the handle too high. But once you get the balance right, it's an effortless machine to use. I mean, there I am, one-handed, no problem at all. You take virtually no effort into maneuvering it around. And if you're new into the business and you're wondering how to start up, what machine to get, an Orc is a good machine to use, and it will clean. And if you're looking for something as cheap as possible, but and it will do steps, and it has that advantage. But the reality is that the machine out there that's the best bang for your buck and will really be able to produce the square feet and be easier to use, and you can become really adept at cleaning with, would of course be the swirly, which is sold at the end camp store. And I think it comes as a 13 or a 15 inch. There's lots of guys that have them, and they just love them. They're great. They'll do everything, pretty much. I don't think they'll do steps, though. But they can do residential or commercial all day long, no problem. And if you're thinking it's too small for commercial work, well, you could just put a larger pad driver on it, actually. Like the pad driver on this machine here, although this is a 17-inch machine, the pad driver is 15 inches because it sits underneath the, under the bumper. It's the way they make them. The pad driver is it's not supposed to be the same size as the actual outer measurement of the machine. So, but if I wanted to, I could run a larger pad driver on this machine. No problem. But one thing to bear in mind is that the larger the pad driver, the more you spread the weight of your machine out on the pad and on the carpet. So you actually end up with less weight per square inch on the carpet with a larger pad driver. So although the difference, if you saw the video I put up recently where talking about the weight of machines, the difference in the weight of the machines per square inch is really very, very close, actually, for most of them. Most of the main, full-size machines, that is. And so I don't think it's really as critical as people think, actually. What's more critical is the pad you have and the cleaning quality of the cleaning products that you're using. So this carpet is doing really well. There were some marks right in front of that desk behind me where I was just a minute ago. I don't know if you really noticed that when I was there, but I had pre-treated them, and as I went over them, they just disappeared immediately. So this is cleaning very well, as it does every time. Of course, when I clean, I'm using a product with a built-in anti-resoiling polymer. The AFT in the Nanomax is an anti-resoil treatment on the carpet. So that helps it to, the next time it gets cleaned, it releases the soil even more effectively or more easily or more rapidly, I guess you could say. So there was kind of blotches and stains right around where the outline of the plastic mat was, and they're all gone now. Now the carpet is about 10 years old, and it is showing some wear, not really a lot of wear, but it's definitely showing wear. Right in the doorway here, you see some pile distortion going on. So it's good for a few more years yet. These folks look like they're in their 70s at least, maybe even 80s. It's a lot of house for two people. So they probably have in mind moving out of here before too long, I would imagine. Okay, we're just going to run over this mat again since I'm here. And then we'll take a look at the pad, of course. And then I've got the steps to do, and then I'll do my post vacuuming and grooming. So let's have a look. Not really that soiled. And let's have a look. How does it feel? It's dry from here to here. It's damp right in here because it's a center feed. If it was a shower feed, normal shower feed machine, it would be dry from here to here, and it would just be damp around the outer edge. Because the machine was shower feeding, like this, if this machine was shower feeding, it would feed right down to the top of the pad driver, and then the solution would spin out right here. So it would actually probably be, oh, this one has been modified, but yeah, here we are. You can see where it is here. So from about there, that wide, it would be damp around the outer perimeter of the pad. If it was soaking wet in here, I'd be guilty of using way too more solution than needed, and that's over wetting the carpet and incorrect cleaning. And when you're using shower feeding, you don't need to soak the pad. You just need to keep it damp. That's the key. And I feel the carpet. This is damp. This is damp. This just a little bit damp. Not soaking wet. If I stepped on it with, tell you what. Let me show you. How wet is the carpet? I just cleaned this, right? See, there's no moisture soaking into that toilet paper, which is obviously very absorbent. I'll step on that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I turned it over. You see? Not even any moisture. This is actually dry back here already. Remember, I did this near the beginning. That's perfect. That's how you do it. Okay, I'll let you go. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.